This is the third and final video for Chapter 4. Now what we start off with is talking about relevant segmenting dimensions, and with this, determining dimensions you need to understand might be very specific depending upon whether the person doing the marketing is concerned with a general product type or a very specific brand. It's going to vary. Determining dimensions may also change over time because the needs and wants of customers may change, or potentially even because more competition enters into the market and you have to adjust based upon that. Qualifying dimensions are important as well because they help to identify the core features that must be offered to everyone in the product market. And within a broad product market, there may also be different dimensions for different submarkets. So we talked about the different submarkets already. So there may be different dimensions for each of those different submarkets as well. This is an ad from a company called Sun Pharmaceuticals, and it incorporates segmenting dimensions as a marketing tactic. Now this ad is an example of targeting a particular type of customer, which in this case would happen to be parents buying sunblock specifically for the use of protecting their children. All right, so this is geared towards parents who are buying sunblock specifically for protecting their children. All right, now in this here, checking your knowledge, simply states a father taking his family of 4 on vacation was trying to make hotel reservations for a trip to Disney World. He first eliminated all hotels that were in excess of 2 miles from the main gate to Disney World. Then he focused exclusively on hotels offering suites so that his family would have more space. He eventually selected the Excelsior Hotel because he knew the hotel offered suites and a complimentary breakfast. For him, the availability of the complimentary breakfast was a blank segmenting dimension. Now, just some information as we're going through this. Qualifying dimensions are those that are relevant to including a customer type in a product market. So in the above question that we just read through with the checking your knowledge, after the father narrowed his search to within 2 miles from Disney World, the qualifying dimension was a hotel offering suites. After he selected hotels that offered suites, he made his decision based upon the availability of the complimentary breakfast. The breakfast offering is what is considered a determining dimension. It was the one that actually affected the customer's purchase for a specific product within the product market. All right, so again, after he selected hotels that offered the suites, narrowed it down based upon the ones who had the suites, he made his decision based upon whether or not there was a complimentary breakfast. The breakfast itself was the determining dimension, so the best option here would be letter B. Letter B. Qualifying dimensions are those that are relevant to including a customer type in a product market. They help to identify the core features that have to be offered to everybody within that particular product market. Determining dimensions are those that actually affect the consumer's or the customer's purchase of a specific product or a specific brand within the product market. And the determining dimensions can be segmented into groups, further segmented into multiple groups as well. Along with segmenting dimensions, there are other things that you have to consider being a marketer in different market segments. Ethical issues. There are some people, they are considered critics, argue that target marketing exploits customers, that it makes them want things that they really don't need, and they may even cause physical, emotional, or financial harm. Those are issues that are considered ethical. Exploiting customers, that's something you have to be very careful of. A lot of advertising, if you think of advertising and sales promotions, a lot of them makes people really think that they want things that they don't really need at all. Is that okay? Should that be considered an ethical issue as well? Things that cause physical, emotional, or financial harm. Smoking, alcohol causes physical harm. It can cause physical harm. It can actually cause psychological harm and everything else as well. So should those be allowed? Those are all ethical dilemmas that are brought up on a continual basis. Now, success in international marketing requires even more segmenting because there are so many countries, so many different languages, so many unique cultures that you have to break them down extremely detailed at times. Segmenting international markets adds just one step to an entire long process of segmentations. First, you may want to segment by country or by even a specific region in the world, and then narrow down within, then proceed with same basic segmentation approaches that we've discussed previously, and keep segmenting them down into a more workable, reasonable group. All right. Different techniques that can be used in segmenting. Clustering techniques, all that simply is trying to find any kind of similar patterns within a set of data. You try to find something that is like something else, the similar data, or dissimilar patterns within certain data, and you're going to group them or cluster them together. CRM refers to Customer Relationship Management. This is a more sophisticated model, and they are used to, these techniques can help to predict the types of products or services that a certain type of customer might want or might need based upon information that is available to them in a database. So they're using currently acquired information to try to determine what certain types of people will or will not want or need, and use that information to gear their marketing towards that. Okay, their marketing mix primarily, the 4 Ps. Differentiation and positioning. Now, differentiation is how you as a marketer try to distinguish your product, your service, your good or service in the marketplace, and how it is different from the competition. So what's unique or different about your product compared to that of the competition? And what really matters is that the consumer, the person, perceives that your product is different and potentially better in some way, whether it be pricing, whether it be quality, availability, whatever it happens to be. Positioning then is from the customer standpoint. Okay, so differentiation is from the marketing standpoint. Positioning is from the customer standpoint. It's how customers think about current brands or products that are in the market. Now, marketing research techniques are designed to collect information about consumer perceptions. They want to know what people think. They want to know how they feel about certain products and services. Not only their own product or service, their good or service, but also that of the competition, and in essence trying to get into the mind of the consumer. All right, so they want to find out how their product is positioned in the minds of the consumers, and how the competition's products are positioned in the minds of the consumers as well. This diagram shows output of a computer program that does what's called positioning analysis. So this is Exhibit 411. We're on pages about 111, 112, somewhere around there in your book. Now, 2 attributes of the SOAP. This is all about SOAP. So the 2 attributes about the SOAP that account for the greatest difference in consumer perceptions are the degree to which the soap is a deodorant soap, has a smell or an odor to it, and the degree to which the soap is a moisturizing soap. And you'll be able to see the different plots on here. So if you see, the closer the dots are to each other, the more similar those brands are in the minds of consumers. And so if you're looking bottom left, like Lava, for example, very low moisturizing, doesn't really have much of a smell or an odor to it, and that is a type of a soap that is used a lot by people who are in construction and mechanics to try to get a lot of the grease and the grime off of their hands. All right, so this is just a plot to be able to see exactly where consumers feel products are located in this particular soap category. All right, a positioning statement. This is just an example. The next couple slides are going to be examples of this positioning statement. The blanks will be filled in as we go from slide to slide. So the first blank is going to be a target market. Okay, it's a somewhat specific group of people. The brand name, the type of product that they're going to be delivering, the benefits. Okay, what's going to be different from, remember, differentiation is from the marketing standpoint. So the differentiation there. So let's just go through this. Here's just the fill in the blank portion, but then this is, and by the way, this is on page 113, I believe, in your book. So here's an example then of an actual positioning statement. So instead of just having at the very beginning our target market, we now have 16 to 24-year-old males. Instead of having, well, keep going on, I'm sorry, who embrace excitement, adventure, and fun. So 16 to 24-year-old males, and that's not specific enough. They want people who embrace excitement, adventure, and fun. Then they go on to their brand. Their brand is Mountain Dew. Okay. And then next is the product type of all carbonated soft drinks. And what does it deliver? This is where they're going to have the key benefits or the differentiation. They feel that Mountain Dew delivers great taste that exhilarates like no other in the carbonated soft drink industry. After that, they go back to their brand, because Mountain Dew, our brand, and this is their reasoning, is energizing, thirst quenching, and has a one-of-a-kind citrus flavor. All right, Mountain Dew even at one point had different options where they had, I think it was called Livewire, which was more of like an orange Mountain Dew, as well as like a combination of Mountain Dew and like a Sunkist or an Orange Crush type soda. They've had multiple different flavors of Mountain Dew to go along with this to try to get specific people's flavors and needs and wants met within this particular industry. All right, last one. This is the last slide, the checking your knowledge. The product space graph, or the perceptual map, resulting from a positioning study for shampoo. Okay, we had one for soap, but this is shampoo, shows a substantial target market that is currently served by only one product. And the product's name is Exotic Balsam. Which of the following is a reasonable course of action for a competing manufacturer? Okay, so there is a target market that is being served, but they only have one option right now that's available to them. All right, so option A, to develop a new product to compete with Exotic Balsam. B, look for an area on the map where there is a smaller target market that is not served by any current products. C, attempt to reposition a current product as an alternative to Exotic Balsam. D, do a broader analysis that includes an examination of customer needs and attitudes. And E, any of the above might be reasonable depending upon the circumstances. Now, would it be reasonable to develop a new product to compete with this since there's really no competition? Absolutely. Would it be reasonable to look for an area on the map where there's a smaller target market that is not served by any current products? They need something that's not being met. Absolutely. Would it be reasonable to attempt to reposition a current product so you don't have to spend the time, effort, and money to make a new product as an alternative to Exotic Balsam? Absolutely. Would it be reasonable to do a broader analysis that includes the examination of customer needs and wants and their attitudes towards products? That would be very smart. So the best answer here would be E, any of the above might be reasonable. All right, and that brings us to the end of Chapter 4. Just as a reminder, you have the take-home portion of the test, the electronic online version, which is going to be 60 questions, true, false, and multiple choice, that needs to be completed prior to coming to class on Tuesday the 17th. And then in class you will have a completion, short answer, and essay portion with a little bit of additional questions for you to answer, and we'll take care of that in class. So please make sure that you do have a pen or a pencil with you in class. If you have any questions, be sure to email me or stop in during the time frame that we would normally be having class. All right, talk to you later. Have a good week.